has had them represent you in other matters for the same rate, right?
Correct.
But in this case, in addition to the full hourly rate of $220 an hour, you also have a contingent fee component that could entitle Upstate Law Group to another $162,000 or so if you are successful as defined in this.
As much work as she's done, she probably deserves twice that.
So she's, according to what your deal is, you're paying her full hourly rates for her time plus a contingent fee element, correct?
Correct.
I'm just going to show you now some of the backup you provided for your attorney's fee claim from Upstate Law Group. I think it's going to be Exhibit 41. We'll jump ahead. That's Exhibit 41. What you provided to the court to back up your attorney's fee claim from Upstate Law Group would be a bunch of documents like this. Would you agree?
Yes.
In other words, the information about what was actually done has been redacted, right?
Right.
So there's no way to tell how much time, or you can tell how much time was spent, but you can't tell what your time was spent doing on your behalf, right?
You can't. I know what you
And you know it for every single one of these items, the multiple pages that you got, line by line?
Not by memory, but I do. I've gone over them with you.
Let me just show you now exhibit number 43. First of all, let me ask you, well, we can do 43 up there. You have not paid Upstate Law Group all of the money that has been invoiced to you in terms of attorney fees, right?
That's not.
And I forgot, you may have already said this. What was the total amount you have already paid to Upstate Law Group in attorney's fees and costs?
Between 26 and 27,000.
And how much do you think you owe them?
About 170,000.
About 170,000?
Yes.
Do you know how much of the 170,000 relates to this case?
All of it.
All of it?
Yes.
So we should see invoices totaling $170,000 or some record of $170,000 worth of invoices as far as you can tell if that's what you're claiming.
Up to this time period, I don't know what's in this book here, is what time period. I know up to a point, the time I gave my deposition, there's a certain amount, and there's an estimated amount after that. Then there's an estimated trial amount, and that, I believe all that equals to be about $196,000, 197.
And Upstate Law Group has represented you in other matters, has they not?
Correct.
And you're sure that that $170,000 or $196,000 figure does not include those other matters?
I'm positive.
This matter right here, Exhibit 43, do you know what this is? That's Exhibit 43.
It's a detail of text messages from Ms. Fuller to me.
At the bottom, at the last page, I think you'll see a total of the total amount, I guess it's due to Upstate Law Group from you. Is that your understanding?
What are we looking at? Show me.
Exhibit number 43.
Right.
Yeah, if you look at the last page of Exhibit 43.
Last page? What
Yeah.
page number?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
It's 0760.
That's probably right. What does it say? Does it have a balance? Like a total number, 66,000 or something? I can want to show you. It's John Afro.
Position right?
Yes. Yeah, you can do it. This is what I was trying to get at.
I'm not sure if that's actually a dollar balance or not. But
Okay. So you're not sure if the last page reflects a total balance due from that spreadsheet that is Exhibit 43?
I believe it does.
Okay. So your best understanding then is Exhibit 43, correct me if I'm wrong, but it shows time entries put in on your behalf by Upstate Law Group over the course of the dates indicated, and it totals up to about $66,000 and some odd cent, some odd amount, just over $66,000.
For this period of time.
Okay. And I just want to show you one example in terms of a blow up of a particular day up here. Let's look at May 17, 2012. So on this record of charges, you have, looks like 24 entries for text messages at 0.1 hour per entry. You see that?
Yes, sir.
And so if you add up 24 entries at 0.1 hour per, that's about 2.4 hours worth of texting. You recall texting for that kind of time with Ms. Kern-Fuller about your case? As a general matter, 2.5 hours a day?
Probably sometimes more than that.
Was that your primary method of communication, texting versus emails versus phone calls?
Lots of conversations, lots of emails, phone calls too.
Hold on one second, Preston. Yeah, I don't have any further questions. I just want to make sure original exhibit 91 is placed up here. Thank you, Mr. Preston.
Is 91 in?
It is.
Yes, that's, okay. You may redirect.
Mr. Preston, do you recall conversations that you were asked about Michael Thompson on cross-examination?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall the reference to the PAF form?
Yes.
What is a PAF form?
It's a personal action form.
Do you remember filling out a PAF form in relation to Michael Thompson?
Yes.
To your knowledge, has the PAF form ever been produced in this lawsuit?
I've asked for it several times and I've never seen it used.
I want to turn your attention to the time frame in the summer of 2008, just generally. During this time frame, July of 08, was your divorce pending?
Yes.
During this time frame, had you received a notice from Brooks Brown about what Tom Allen had told him at the barbecue?
I have.
I'd like to ask you some questions about this Ponzi scheme business. What did you do with the money that you withdrew from your savings account from Atlantic Lake?
I could not find employment. I applied for about 21 or 22 different positions across South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. And because of what was happening here in Anderson, I couldn't find employment. That's the first time that had ever happened to me. So I decided to convert a portion of my property on Williamson Road to a venue for outdoor events. So I took some of that money and I put it in the ground. I built buildings with it. I built infrastructure. And I tried to get a business up and running. And it's doing okay today, but not that good. I'm trying to continue to get it going, and I paid attorneys.
Were you in the need of a stream of income?
Yes.
Could you find a job?
No, I could not.
Did you build the event site so you could have a job?
Yes.
Is the reason why you couldn't have a job because the county?
Yes.
Speculation.
The basis for that.
Mr. Preston, how many resumes did you send out?
22, 23.
Before you came to Anderson County, had you sent out resumes?
Yes.
What was your experience when you sent out resumes before you came to Anderson County?
I always got job interviews, and any position I really did seek, I was able to obtain.
What was your experience when you sent out resumes after this lawsuit started?
I was told in the interview process that
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Remember, it's not offered for the truth of the matter asserted. He testified that he was having difficulty getting a job.
Well, he can state that he's had conversations with people, and he can state what he's done as a result of that, or what he's, they keep quoting. I'm not going to have to quote what somebody told him, but he can state what his state of mind is, or what his belief is, based on, he wanted a foundation. I'm going to let you go into the foundation, the fact that he's had conversations, but he can't quote what people say. There's ways to ask those questions.
During the interview process with these folks, did you ever form an opinion or belief as to why you were not getting employment?
Yes,
What was the basis of that?
Anderson County litigation.
And what was the basis for your believing that Anderson County litigation was keeping you from getting a job?
I want to make sure I don't answer properly. But I was being conversations with at the interviews.
Were prospective employers indicating that to you?
Yes.
With respect to the amounts of money you withdrew from your savings account, what is the status of those issues currently?
Currently, I'm meeting with a receiver and trying to determine exactly how much of that I'm going to have to pay back.
Do you have the resources to pay it back?
No.
I just want there to be something very clear, Mr. Preston. What, if anything, did you know about the Ponzi scheme that Ron Wilson was running?
I didn't know.
Did you participate in it in any way?
No.
Did you know he was running a Ponzi scheme?
No.
Has Ron Wilson's Ponzi scheme put you in a terrible financial bind?
This lawsuit and that, it's just completely turned me upside down.
You were asked several questions about the property that you own. Remember that?
Yes.
Do you own a property on Williamston Road?
Yes.
What is your mortgage on that property?
Monthly mortgage?
Percentage-wise, how much is the percent of your mortgage compared to the worth of the home?
80%.
And with respect to the property that they referenced in Charleston, what percent interest do you own in that?
150.
And what is the amount, percentage amount of debt on that property?
80%.
What was the total value of that property?
It's right at $395,000, I believe.
And with respect to the timeshare, what was the total value of the timeshare?
30,000, some change.
And with respect to the King, North Carolina property, what's the total value of that?
More?
Yes, sir.
It's about 80%.
You were asked a question about whether your financial statement to the court had been audited. Remember that?
Yes.
Was that financial statement true and accurate to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Do you have the spare resources to have it audited right now?
No, I don't.
Are you working with the federally appointed receiver to work something out with respect to repayment?
I
I'd like you to turn back to Defense Exhibit 37.
Which book?
The one that says damages. Was it your understanding Exhibit 37 was a flat fee agreement with a contingency?
Yes.
would you expect to receive detailed billing statements under a flat fee agreement?
No.
Was the amount that you had to pay under the flat fee agreement the same regardless of what happened?
Yes.
Has the lawsuit been going on for 3 years?
Yes.
Do you have any idea how much these guys have cost?
I hear 300, $350 an hour each.
Mr. Preston, you were asked several questions about billing statements from the upstate law group. First, is it your understanding that the billing statements under Defense Exhibit 43 only apply from May of 2012 until October 23rd of 2012?
Right.
Defense Exhibit 43 does not include time accrued before that, does it?
Right. I think I said billing period.
And it doesn't include time accrued after that.
Correct.
And in fact, if you go back to Defense Exhibits 41 and 42, those billing invoices actually include the time accrued before what appears in Defense Exhibit 43. Do they not?
Correct.
You were asked some questions about redactions on billing statements. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Were those documents redacted in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege?
That's what I understand, yes.
During the course of this lawsuit, do you recall the county ever asserting the attorney-client privilege?
Yes.
Over and over again, did they not?
Yes, sir.
Anything wrong with that?
No, sir.
That's why it's a privilege, right?
Right.
Mr. Preston, have you become aware of people trying to interfere with your employment in Bangor?
Objection,
Your Honor,
relevance.
you went into it and you said, the open door, he said that he's going to have a new job down there and now he's going to be able to pay them back. But what he didn't tell you was that people are already trying to interfere with that employment.
Your Honor, as I recall, you sustained the objection. I didn't need to ask the question.
I'm not going into Denver on either side unless you feel it has some relevance to this case, and I have not heard that yet. Ruling stays the same.
Mr. President, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down, sir. Thank you very much. All right, Ms. Davis, you may call your name.
Your Honor, subject to those issues that we talked about in relation to the designations, and I guess what I should do at this point is to court, I need to submit the seal.
You want to take about a 5-10 minute break and then you get things together?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, why don't we do that? We'll be in recess about 5 minutes. Thank you.